The average new car loses 28% of its value the moment you drive it off the lot. Most SUVs? They're hemorrhaging value even faster in 2026. But here's what dealers don't want you to know. There are exactly 4 SUVs defying gravity right now. We're talking vehicles that lose almost nothing. Some owners are selling them years later for what they paid. One guy put 37,000 miles on his and lost just $7,500. Today we're counting down the 4 SUVs with the strongest resale value retention on the market, and if you're shopping for an SUV right now, this information could literally save you tens of thousands of dollars. Coming in at number 4, the Subaru Forester, specifically 2015 or newer models. Now, the Forester doesn't get the hype of a Jeep or the cult following of a Toyota, but here's what it does have: consistent, boring reliability. And boring sells in the used market. According to iSeeCars analysis, the Forester retains right around 60% of its value after 5 years in the small SUV category. That puts it ahead of competitors like the Honda CR-V and Mazda CX-5 in real-world transaction data. Consumer Reports backs this up with an 86 out of 100 reliability score for recent Forester models. That's not just good, that's exceptional. And buyers shopping used? They're looking at those reliability scores. They're reading owner forums. They're seeing that Foresters routinely hit 200,000 miles without major issues. Here's what really drives Forester values: standard all-wheel drive on every single trim. You're not paying extra for it. It's baked in. 26 miles per gallon combined fuel economy. Practical cargo space. Safety scores through the roof. It's the SUV your aunt bought that's still running perfectly 15 years later. Real owners are seeing this play out when they sell. One Forester owner noted that trading in their used model yielded better than expected offers specifically because of Subaru's reputation for maintaining value through consistent performance. Used Foresters command prices close to new because there's minimal issues to worry about. Dealers know they can flip these quickly. And here's something most people miss. The Forester appeals to a specific buyer: outdoor enthusiasts, families who need reliability, people in snow states who need AWD. That's a huge market. When you go to sell, you're not fighting to find a buyer. The buyers come to you. The financial play here is simple. Buy a Forester, drive it for 3 to 5 years, sell it for 60% of what you paid. Compare that to a Chevy Equinox losing 50% in the same time frame. On a $30,000 SUV, that's a $3,000 difference in your pocket. Number 3, and this is where things get interesting, the Toyota Land Cruiser, 2015 or newer models. Now we're talking about a completely different price bracket. The Land Cruiser isn't cheap. We're looking at vehicles that sold new for $80,000 to $90,000 or more. But here's the kicker. According to iSeeCars data, the Land Cruiser retains 62.3% of its value after 5 years. That makes it the absolute king of the large SUV segment for resale. Let that sink in. You spend $90,000 on a Land Cruiser. 5 years later, you sell it for $56,000. You lost $34,000, which sounds brutal until you realize a comparable luxury SUV from Lincoln or Cadillac lost $50,000 to $60,000 in the same period. So why does the Land Cruiser hold value like this? 3 reasons. First, legendary build quality. These things are engineered to survive. We're talking about SUVs used by the United Nations in war zones, by Australian Outback explorers, by families who put 300,000 miles on them without blinking. Consumer Reports has consistently rated Toyota's SUV lineup for high reliability, and the Land Cruiser sits at the top of that pyramid. Second, proven longevity in extreme conditions. Buyers shopping used aren't worried about whether a Land Cruiser will make it to 100,000 miles. They're asking if it'll make it to 400,000. And the answer is usually yes. Third, demand massively outpaces supply. Toyota discontinued the Land Cruiser in the US market for a few years, and when they brought it back, inventory stayed tight. Low supply plus high demand equals strong resale. It's Economics 101. Here's what real owners experience. One user reflected on how older Land Cruisers were undervalued purchases that appreciated over time. Think about that, appreciated. We're talking about a depreciating asset that in some cases went up in value because demand exploded. While that's more common with vintage models, it shows the brand's power. Owners selling Land Cruisers frequently report sales at or near their original purchase price after years of use. I'm talking people who bought in 2016, drove it for 6 years, and sold it for 70 to 80% of what they paid. That's unheard of in the automotive world. The maintenance costs stay low, another factor driving resale. When a buyer looks at a used Land Cruiser, they're not budgeting for transmission replacements or engine rebuilds. They're budgeting for oil changes and brake pads. If you can afford the entry price, the Land Cruiser is a smart financial move disguised as a luxury SUV. Hey, before we get to the top 2, which are absolute monsters in the resale game, quick favor. If you're getting any value from this video, if this is helping you make a smarter buying decision, go ahead and hit that like button. It helps the channel grow and lets me know you want more content like this. And trust me, the top 2 on this list are going to blow your mind. Let's keep going. Coming in at number 2, the Jeep Wrangler, both the standard and unlimited models from 2015 or newer. The Wrangler is in a category all by itself. According to iSeeCars, the standard Wrangler retains 64.4% of its value after 5 years. The Wrangler Unlimited, the 4-door version, comes in at 63.9%. Those are top-tier numbers in the midsize SUV category, and they're driven by one simple fact: Wrangler buyers are fanatics. This isn't just an SUV. It's a lifestyle. It's removable doors and tops. It's rock crawling on weekends. It's a Jeep wave from other owners on the highway. That cultural appeal creates insane demand in the used market. Here's what's wild: modifications don't kill resale like they do on other vehicles. Lift kits, bigger tires, aftermarket bumpers. On most SUVs, that stuff scares away buyers. On a Wrangler? It's a selling point. Buyers are specifically looking for modified Wranglers because they don't want to do the work themselves. Real-world owner experiences back this up. One buyer purchased a 2014 Wrangler, just outside our window but close enough, for $20,000 with 80,000 miles on it. They drove it for 4 years, added 35,000 more miles, and when they checked the value, still $20,000. Zero net loss over 4 years of ownership. Read that again, zero net loss. Another owner bought a 2016 Wrangler new and later sold it due to financial priorities. Even with the emotional attachment, they noted how the vehicle's value held strong throughout ownership. Multiple sellers highlight that the market's enthusiasm for Wranglers means quick sales at premium prices. Demand outpaces supply consistently. And here's the secret sauce: the off-road capability isn't theoretical. People actually use Wranglers for what they're built for. That authenticity matters. When you list a Wrangler for sale, you're not just selling transportation. You're selling adventure, freedom, capability. Buyers will pay premium prices for that emotional connection. The customization culture also keeps values high. Jeep owners spend thousands personalizing their Wranglers, and that investment often translates to higher resale because the next buyer gets a turnkey setup. It's a unique market dynamic you don't see with other SUVs. And here it is, topping the list at number 1, the Toyota 4Runner, 2015 or newer models. This is the undisputed champion of SUV resale value. According to iSeeCars data, the 4Runner retains 69.9% of its value after 5 years. That's the highest retention rate among midsize SUVs, period. Kelley Blue Book confirms this, highlighting the 4Runner as a standout Japanese SUV with an average 60% retention over 5 years based on market analysis and consumer trends. But those are just averages. Real owners are experiencing even better results. One owner bought a 2022 4Runner for $48,500. They drove it 37,000 miles, that's serious use, and sold it for $41,000. That's retaining over 84% of the original price in just a couple of years. Think about that. 37,000 miles of driving cost them $7,500 in depreciation. Most SUVs lose that much sitting on your driveway for 6 months. Another user looked back at older 4Runners from the early 2000s and noted they were bargains back then but hold value so well now that they'd invest in them retrospectively for long-term gains. That's not nostalgia, that's recognizing a pattern of exceptional value retention across generations. So why does the 4Runner dominate like this? Start with legendary durability. This thing is built on a truck platform with body-on-frame construction. It's not a crossover pretending to be rugged, it's actually rugged. Consumer Reports gives recent models high marks for owner satisfaction, which drives sustained demand in the used market. The off-road capabilities are legitimate. We're talking about an SUV that can handle serious trails, not just gravel roads. Crawl control, locking rear differential, multi-terrain select. These aren't gimmicks. They work. And buyers know it. Here's what really separates the 4Runner. It hasn't changed much. While other manufacturers chase trends and redesign every 3 years, Toyota stuck with a proven formula. The current generation launched in 2010 and stayed relatively consistent. That consistency breeds confidence. Buyers know exactly what they're getting, and there's decades of data showing these things last forever. The secondary market for 4Runners is absolutely on fire. Go check listings right now. Used 4Runners with 100,000 miles are still selling for $30,000 to $40,000 depending on trim and condition. That's insane. Most SUVs at 100,000 miles are worth half their original price or less. Demand is so strong that dealers struggle to keep used 4Runners in stock. They get snapped up within days of listing. I'm talking certified pre-owned models that barely sit on the lot before someone drives them home. That kind of demand keeps prices elevated. The 4Runner also benefits from Toyota's overall reputation for reliability. When buyers shop used, they're looking at brands they trust. Toyota consistently ranks at the top for dependability, and the 4Runner carries that halo effect. And here's something most people overlook. The 4Runner appeals to multiple buyer segments. You've got off-road enthusiasts, families who need third-row seating, people in mountain states who need winter capability, and buyers who just want something bulletproof. That broad appeal means when you sell, you're not looking for a niche buyer. You're accessing a massive market. So there you have it, the 4 SUVs with the strongest resale value retention on the market right now. The Subaru Forester at number 4 with 60% retention and boring reliability. The Toyota Land Cruiser at number 3 with 62.3% retention and legendary build quality. The Jeep Wrangler at number 2 with 64.4% retention and a cult following that defies logic. And dominating at number 1, the Toyota 4Runner with 69.9% retention and proven durability that keeps buyers coming back generation after generation. Here's the bottom line. If you're shopping for an SUV and you care about long-term value, these 4 should be at the top of your list. You're not just buying transportation. You're making a financial decision that'll impact your wallet for years. Which one shocked you most? Are you already driving one of these value retention champions? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if this video helped you understand where the smart money is going, hit that like button. Subscribe so you don't miss our next breakdown where we'll cover the SUVs losing value faster than ice melts in July. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.